Hello everybody, my name is Radio Rave. If you don't know who I am, I'm a developer for Fusion for Retrobution, and I'm hoping this will be a somewhat consistently uploaded Let's Play of Fusion for Retrobution to sort of archive and point out all the changes we've made compared to the original game, and sort of serve as something similar to Prizzy's Fusion for Retro playthrough. I'm not gonna delay playing the game for much longer, because I really just want to jump into it. I'm gonna be somewhat silent for the segments of the intro where someone is talking, but yeah, let's get started.
Hello? It is I, Dexter. Can you hear me in there? Thank you for volunteering for this important time travel experiment. I'm going to need you to input your profile into the system before we begin. Stand by and I'll bring it up on your monitor.
So, oh, you can see the name I tried to get, but I forgot that first names can't exceed 8 characters. So we're just gonna be radioactive. Yep. And, oops. My game seems to have frozen. Let's hold on. Alright. Hello again. I paused recording to reopen the game. So here we are. Back into the game. Oh, had to fix some Windows settings real quick. But yeah, here we are. This is the character creation. If you don't know the story of the game, as you can see, we're a volunteer for Dexter's time travel experiment. And yeah, we're going to be traveling through time. Courtesy of Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. And yeah, let's get started with our character. Usually have a very defined sort of character, but I'm going to try to mix things up for this playthrough. Be a bit more adventurous, I guess. So, let's see here. I didn't really think about, well, I was thinking about my hairstyle, but I wasn't fully sure on what route to go here, because I usually use the Rockstar hairstyle, but I also use it so much that I'm not sure if I want to use it again, I guess. I guess, you know, this is also kind of somewhat close to my hair. A bit, way more spiky than it actually is. But, you know, we'll take it. So, let's see here. Thinking we go for the green. Let's do green eyes. You know what? Sure, let's do this. Mix it up a bit, but not too crazy from what I usually make.
Excellent. Bioscan is complete. Let's make sure your communicator is functioning.
All communication systems are functional, Dexter. I will be able to reconnect with the volunteer upon arrival in the future.
Affirmative. All right, I'm powering up the main engine now. You may feel a little bump. Wow, are you seeing these readings? A fine day for science indeed. Prepare for launch.
Ooh,
3,
what does this
2,
button do?
1, begin!
Oh, this is yeah, so that the time travel experiment did not work out. We're about to see where we can end up.
Much farther into the future than Dexter intended.
Watch out! Holy cannoli, where did you come from?
Not now, number 5. We gotta move. Follow us.
But yeah, there you have it. There's the main setup to Fusion Fall. And
Good.
if you're really
Use the
attentive
WA
and have a really good memory of the original game, you may already see a lot of differences
Very good.
in terms of textures in Fusion for Retrobution. There's been a lot of texture edits
You can
to
also
a lot of NPCs to try to sort of bring them up to par with like
W key while jumping.
some newer
Please jump
NPC
onto this
additions,
ledge
some additions
to
from
join
the
them
original
at
Fusion
number
4
5.
Retro. Oh, the audio
Here, take this weapon.
bugged out on Ben. That's actually happened to me before, but I don't know what exactly causes it.
You can tell how
I
much
think it's just a bit funny.
your target's health bar at the top of your screen.
You may also notice already that I like playing with damage numbers on. It's not something enabled by default, but it's really nice to have on.
Woohoo! Nice work, guys! Those creeps turn back into fusion matter when you beat them. Make sure you collect as much as you can. It's real important stuff.
You will automatically collect fusion matter from defeated enemies. The amount of fusion matter you have is displayed in your fusion matter meter. As you defeat more enemies, your fusion matter meter will continue to fill up.
So fusion matter is sort of just like the EXP of the game,
Warning,
if you're unfamiliar
more hostiles
with Fusion
incoming.
Fall.
We got more company. It's a Cyberus. Let's take him down.
I imagine most people that are going to be watching this playthrough are probably already somewhat experienced with Fusion Fall, but I don't think it hurts to sort of explain some of the mechanics here, because a lot of people don't know. Even Fusion Fall players don't know everything about the game, and also a lot of people. I'm going to assume that like 1 or 2 people that are going to click on this video don't know what a Fusion Fall even is, so gotta appeal to the lowest common denominator.
Fuse has covered the world with gross green goo, and those disgusting fusion spawns are wrecking everything.
Fuse's monsters have evolved and adapted to our planet. You should see some of them. They use things called terrafusers to infect everything with goo. If the infection gets bad enough, Planet Fusion will absorb our world. Now that you're up to speed, can you go help number 2? We gotta go help the others.
I need some help with a super important mission.
Let's
Report
go
to
do
me
our
right
first
away.
real mission.
Your communicator
So,
comes with a built-in mini-map.
Again, some of the stuff you may have already noticed different if you remember the original game really well is a lot of texture changes, and including that little panorama that plays when number 5 and Ben are explaining the whole planet fusion in the sky. That was also updated to match like sort of Ben's updated texture, just to make it look a little bit better. That's probably one of my favorite changes we've done. So yeah, if you see that mission mark, that's a mission. Well, exclamation mark.
Broadcast our position. We need to find that monster and get that transmitter. You ready?
I feel like this game kind of teases you a bit, because this intro has sort of very fleshed out voice acting, when most of the rest of the game does not. So it's kind of interesting. I guess they really wanted to make a very like lasting first impression on players with the tutorial. Currently right now combat is not super crazy, since Retrobution has made a lot of changes to improve combat, but you're not gonna see much of it in the tutorial, or even in the tutorial tips right now. It's not a lot of that has been updated to sort of, what's the word?
It also tells you the
like
reward you will receive once you complete the mission.
Match a lot of the changes, I guess would be the simplest way to put it.
Transmitter to number 2. Note that your current objective
This
has been
intro
updated,
part
and a
probably
new
isn't gonna have a lot of
has been
talking,
set.
just because so much
Click on
voice
number
acting
2
is in
to
this.
talk to him and update characters with him to accept your reward.
Nope.
Ready for Nano, and I need your help. I think Dexter's in trouble.
Congratulations. Select
Dexter has disappeared. You've got to see if he's in the infected zone. I'll check out here. There's no time to lose.
click.
The most infected areas on the planet are called infected zones. Thanks to Fuse's terrafuser machines, fusion matter is totally out of control inside. Ha! Good thing Dexter set up energy shields to contain the infection.
Your
So
new
infected
task
zones are
is to
pretty much
enter the
just the
infected zone to find
platforming sections of this game, because if you don't know, Fusion Fall is an MMORPG platformer hybrid type thing.
I am
And
trapped
we-
in Fusion Buttercup's lair. Quickly, find the fusion portal.
You can enter a
I'm
fusion
coming,
portal
Dexter.
the same way you... Now,
But
click the
yeah, we
wall
got our first primary nano crest, which is a nano that's required to level up pretty much.
a fusion.
It is you! I knew we would meet again. My stupid sister messed up the time jump sequence and destroyed the time capsule. We need to get you back to the past so you can save our world. Fusion Buttercup is in the next room. We must stop her
This is
before she
probably one
can
of the
cause
coolest
any
parts
more
about
damage.
Fusion Fall.
Fusions are dark, twisted versions of this planet's heroes, created by Fuse himself. They are extremely dangerous, but I think you can handle it. Are you ready? Let's go!
Oh, he's he's lagged a little there, but yeah. So not just fusions are some of the coolest parts, like these sort of evil versions of characters that you have to fight, but also which we're about to see, the nanos of the game, the main collectible.
Buttercup, that's what I'm talking about. Look out, bad guys. Congratulations! You have made your first nano. Like fusions, nanos are made of fusion matter. You have used the fusion matter you collected in your fusion matter meter to create Nano Buttercup. Don't be discouraged by her size. She may be small, but she is powerful.
Your communicator is now a
And there she
nanocom.
is.
It has the ability to store up to 3 nanos.
Whoa! That does not sound good. You can escape to Dex Labs using the warp gate I have set up. I must search this area and make sure Fusion Buttercup did not steal anything from my headquarters.
Go to the warp
What's,
gate
you
to
know,
exit
you can
the
see
area.
Buttercup's already in our little nanocom HUD. And, fun fact, those are actually NPCs, those buildings that are
We
shaking.
can't hold Tech
That's how they
Square
pulled off
anymore.
that
Get to
little
the scamper.
trick
Hurry.
for the cutscene. There's the tech wing. Another fun fact is that there's actually like a flag you can set where you have to kill that enemy instead of stunning it. The
You
tutorial.
did great, but it looks like Buttercup and the rest weren't able to handle those other Terrafusers in time. Dexter says we gotta find Mandark so we can rebuild the time machine and send you back to the past. Let's get at it.
Despite our best efforts, Tech Square has been lost. But this war is not over yet. Not by a long shot. Our time-traveling friend here is just the hero we need. Between Mandark and number 2, I am sure you will be able to rebuild my time capsule. Don't worry about me. I will be fine. Get back to Sector V and to safety. Dexter, out!
All right, everyone. Next stop, Hero Square, Sector V.
I hope the 5 people that have not played Fusion Fall really enjoyed me being silent for most of that, but now let's get a lot more talkative. So, we're just gonna ignore these upsells for now, sort of explain what those are probably in next episode. But, yeah, so here's the future, the main sort of
Greetings.
tutorial area of the game, past the initial tutorial that we just finished. Again, if you remember the original game very vividly, you'll probably be able to spot rather a lot of differences already that Retrobution has. But let's just register at the scamper here, which is the fast travel of the game, and get started on our first quest by Computress here.
Do you require admission?
I am relieved to see that you escaped Tech Square unharmed. You won't get much rest, I'm afraid. Fuse's minions have attacked the treehouse and toppled it.
Yes. Goodbye.
Let's see, it says, fusion spawns have nearly overrun Sector V. They have stolen the gravity accelerator that keeps the treehouse standing. Once it was removed, the entire structure collapsed. We must reduce the number of fusion spawns that have taken over the neighborhood and recover the gravity decelerator. Please proceed to the area that I've marked in your map. So this mission's kind of interesting because in beta versions of the game, the treehouse in the future wasn't actually toppled like it is. It was still floating, like you'll see it is in the past. So I haven't really played or investigated any beta builds of the game. Or, well, I say any, but there's kind of only
Incoming
one
message.
that's persisted, I guess. But I'm kind of interested. I've always been interested in seeing sort of how this mission plays out in that version of the game, if it's any different.
Do you require admission?
We will need the gravity accelerator brought back online immediately to restore the treehouse to its previous state. It was a heroic effort on your part. Thank you. Good work. This gravity accelerator was stolen from the treehouse's anti-grav projector. It was manufactured by Mandark Industries. There are fusions in this area that want to destroy the treehouse. We must assist the kids next door in boosting their defenses. Shall we proceed?
Mission. Farewell.
So that's... try out the jump pads. They're a fun way to travel. Or you can be boring and use the bridges. I will be boring, just because it's kind of quicker to get to number 2 directly. But that's kind of an interesting thing that they mentioned, sort of offhandedly, is that Mandark made the gravity accelerator. Which, is probably sort of a part of how they wanted to give Mandark some more unique allies in the game in his quest to sort of rival Dexter and his Dex Labs enterprises and sort of be better than him. They had him work with a lot of interesting characters or like factions like the Kids Next Door, or invest a lot in like Foster's Home for imaginary friends, as you'll see later in the game. Hey, you're back! There's trouble around here. Fusion number 2 has ordered the shock tanglers in Sector V to steal energy from the treehouse. You need to get it back. You can get another mission here, our first guided mission. If we're gonna send you back to the past, we gotta get this time machine running. All you gotta do is collect some 2x4s and we'll be on our way.
Yeah, I'll be waiting.
So, guided missions are essentially like the main sort of plot thread that you'll follow in the game. Right now there's just one. You get the default of Computress, but you'll get to choose between 4 when you get back to the past. Kind of want to do this one. You can kind of skip over them. They're not required to do, especially in the future, but you know, they're nice to. This one's particularly nice because it gives you a melee weapon, and I do sort of wanna highlight melee weapons because of how they change in Retrobution. So hopefully we're getting really good RNG so far. Sometimes you will not get an energy cube for a while if you're really unlucky. Oh, that's really nice. Okay, awesome. So you just head straight back. We can actually probably start this mission real quick before we turn that one in. Let's just get some 2x4s. The backbone of codename Kids Next Door technology. So let's head over. For a minute in the game, we won't be going crazy fast. We're actually going to be pushing an update, hopefully soon, that increases the player's movement speed. But you'll also have access to some powers and some mounts soon enough that'll significantly increase how fast we can get around the world. But luckily, not a ton of objectives are too far from each other in the future. Good work, but we need more. Some shock tanglers stole some. Kind of interesting what a bunch of wires would be doing with 2x4, but you know, might as well. Great, I think that's enough. Bring those 2x4s back to me, and I'll get to work. So let's sort of a big part of, I guess, playing the game efficiently. Like if you really want to min-max EXP, or Fusion Matter rather, is turning in a lot of missions at the same time. So, once you've like played the game quite a bit, you kind of know relatively what missions lead to the same people. I can use these 2x4s to rebuild a time machine for you, but there's something else missing. After you get your number 2 nano, talk to number 5. She might know where you can find another of the missing pieces. This is great, but I'm afraid we're still missing something. The time machine needs some more parts. Oh, already number 2. Cool. You ready for a new nano? Check in with number 108 at Hero Square. Talk to the computer real quick. Thank you for bringing the energy cubes to number 2. I hope his bad jokes did not do any harm. Please report to me in Hero Square. Computers is kind of a judgmental robot. A bit of a calling Bridges boring, and then also insulting number 2. I feel like maybe she just doesn't like the kids next door, actually. You defeat the shock tanglers and recover those energy cubes in short order. Well done. The KMD have sent something called a thumbs up. Yeah, but okay, so he's incredibly judgmental, but she doesn't know what a thumbs up is. Which, I don't know, man. I guess she's just all negativity. That's our first real nano mission. Fusion number 2 is hiding inside the infected training area. He'll send shock tanglers to ambush you. They have dangerous eruption attacks. Computers will send an email with more info. We're just gonna ignore the email for now. I'll just explain what eruption attacks are. Eruption attacks are you're gonna see like a like sort of corrupted area of just like appear on the ground, and if you stay in it, well, not even if you stay in it, but shortly after, it's just gonna erupt and do a lot of damage if you're in that little range, that little patch. So, oh, let's check out what we got actually. Yeah, jet ray mask, jet ray cloak, pirate hat, Dracula cloak. Nice, but melee weapon maybe most importantly. So in the original game, melees were kind of bad, but in Retribution, I'd say they're probably some of the best weapons in the game now. Basically, how it works now is that there are no random critical hits, but every fourth hit, you're guaranteed a critical that does 3 times damage. We used to run practice drills here, and I didn't read the rest. Now you're on a fusion hunt, so that's one of my best tracks in the game here. Codename Training. I love this track. But let's just get through this little obstacle course section with the ambient floating crate that does nothing for platforming. Wow, that's embarrassing actually. This is like one of the easiest platforming sections in the game. That will not happen again, I think. Let's get in here. There we go.
Hey,
Get,
it's number 2.
get the shock tanglers. Watch out for the eruption attacks on the ground. Let's try out melee here. You can look at the health bar. You'll see that the fourth hit we do will do like a lot damage. Just sort of clean out the rest of the health bar. It might be a bit hard to tell with like very low level enemies like this, but hopefully it's not like crazy hard to see. You can also just watch the damage numbers actually, I guess. That also do that. I kind of forgot I already had those on, to be honest. So 81, then you see 249. Just suddenly a big spike of damage. And then rifles haven't really been changed much actually. They just kind of have a larger crit chance.
Incoming message.
Good work. Now you need to defeat Fusion number 2. I hate that guy. But yeah, rifles are pretty samey, to be honest, from the original game, because they were already like a pretty good weapon type. It's just like they couldn't really match the DPS fully of pistols, which we'll be getting one relatively soon, I'm sure. But they have a bit of an increased critical chance now in Retribution to sort of balance things out a bit more, make it a bit more worth it. Even though I would argue they did have value having a longer range, but now they should have a bit more value, just a bit more. Fusion number 2 here is flying on a Flappa, which well, I'll let that go off. That's an eruption attack. And here's our second down, Nano number 2. And I'll be getting dash here. Hogue uses scamper technology to propel you forward and dodge attacks. This is a new power added by Retribution, inspired by the dash mechanics in a late build of the original Fusion Fall. So if we use them real quick, you can see that we do dash forward. Propel, do like a little horizontal boost of movement.
Catch you later.
And this is gonna be pretty helpful for a lot of the platforming sections in the game early on, but also it does give you iframes, 1.5 seconds of iframes to be exact. And this should be pretty nice for combat and just sort of lasting a bit longer, especially when we don't have a lot of sustainability right now. Just yeah, you can already see sort of the usefulness of it. I won't be doing too much more for this episode. But let's just do one more mission. Number 5 just reported that we're running low on gum balls for our gumzookas. Can you run down to Pokeoaks North and help her out? Go check in with number 5 ASAP. So let's just get this sort of small this small mission done real quick, and I think we can sort of cap off the episode. I don't want these to be going crazy long. I kind of want to aim for the like mid-20s to early 30s in terms of episode length, unless we're doing something like really special here. So let's just get over there. Let me use the auto run key actually. Oh, I see. I think my keybind's unmapped. Usually I have the auto run on like one of my mouse side buttons, but I'll just use the default key actually. Also number 2, rest. If you don't know, you can use the home button to auto run in this game. Makes it really nice. But yeah, we're gonna be hopefully just doing this mission pretty quickly. Number 5 and Buttercup do have a lot of missions for you at number 2, but at level 2. But we'll take care of those next episode. Let's gum draw. The Cyber Seniors in Pokey Oaks North stole all our ammo. Those creepy critters need to learn that they don't mess with the K and D. So it points you over here, but there's actually kind of a better spawning place to farm them at over here. That's, I think, a bit closer by, or more nearby. I don't know. I'm not. You know what I mean. So let's get over here. I'm gonna bring out my melee again. I think we're trying to use melee as much as possible, not just because I enjoy it, but also just to show its power here. It definitely has a lot of utility. So is dash, if I can. Alright, maybe not in conjunction with melee unless you're like rushing into combat. It's much more, if you're using melee, it's much more better as an initiator, because with a lot of enemies, if you just use it like right off the bat, it'll kind of push you past them. At least with ranged weapons, if you turn around, you can instantly sort of start shooting again like nothing ever happened. But with melee, it's a lot harder to recover without like having sort of taking unnecessary damage, because you'll be running back to the melee range. Cool, you got the gumball ammo. Bring it back here. Or bring it here, rather. Let's just take a death here. Oh, nice new Grim artwork that we added. That was originally a 3D render, or sorry, like a 2D image. That was a 3D render of Grim's model. Let's turn this in. Thanks for helping me out. You're my kind of kid. I may need you for some super secret missions before you go back to the past. Thanks. Don't worry, I won't be chewing these gumballs. This is for our ammo stockpile only. So, you know, I think this is a good place to cap off the episode. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please tell me what you think of this. I know that this episode wasn't very interesting, mainly because I was quiet for a lot of the tutorial section and just the beginning part of the game. But I hope that you enjoyed. Please give me feedback on what you thought was good about this episode. The overlay, I know, is not very... doesn't have got a lot going on. I did that purposefully so that it sort of doesn't distract from the gameplay. But if you have any suggestions or feedback for it, let me know. And yeah, let's just end it here. Goodbye.